Okay, gents, let's now switch gears and focus on the Premier League weekend, the last weekend before the World Cup break, before there's a 6-week break. The final round of games, some big ones coming up. Let's focus on a big game in North London. Nick Mendola, Tottenham Hotspur against Leeds United. Can Antonio Conte get this Spurs side going just for one more game? I mean, he's running poor Harry Kane into the ground as an Englishman. That is causing me a lot of stress, I can tell you that. But they have got a few of the other attackers coming back. Richarlison, Kulusevski are back in the fold now. But Leeds going for 3 wins in a row under Jesse Marsch. They are probably the most exciting team to watch in the Premier League right now. Not good for your heart rate if you are a Leeds fan or a USMNT fan or Jesse Marsch. But it's going to be a really
if you write for PST and have to do the recap.
That is very true. We've all experienced that this season at different stages. But Nick, Tottenham Leeds, on paper, this should be a very fun game.
It should be very fun. I've been mentioning this to Andy for a few weeks, and I feel like Andy might think that I was needling him about it, but I'm not. I can't believe how often Harry Kane has started and most of the time played 90 minutes. He's been an absolute horse, and if I was England, I'd be very worried about it. I actually wonder if at any point Gareth Southgate, he wouldn't have called Conte, but if he called Harry Kane, be like, hey, mate, you talk to your boss for a second here? Because really, and he's looked at, that's the thing, he's looked at. It gives me a little bit of hope for the U.S., just a little bit. I think this is still, though, a Tottenham game to lose. I like Leeds. I think Leeds are fun. Jesse Marsch obviously rested a lot of his key components during the midweek League Cup date, but I just can't believe that Tottenham would have fallen so far off. And Andy, I've watched back games because of what you said. I've now watched games through the lens of what you said about them not being as good as people think they are. Well, it's going to take at least one more game for me to agree. I can't see, as good as Leeds has been, there's a big difference between the Cherries and Spurs.
Andy, what are your thoughts as our resident Spurs fan and expert? I mean, it's been tough going the last few weeks. The defeat to Liverpool, same old Tottenham, right? Poor in the first half, much better in the second half once they finally get going. But it just seems really clunky all season long. There's been no real rhythm to this team. Is that a fair assessment? And Leeds are a weird team, a really weird team to play against. And if Spurs leave any gaps on the break in the second half of this game, then Leeds can, they've shown that against Liverpool and Bournemouth, they can really be ruthless right now. So dangerous game for Spurs right before the World Cup break.
Yeah, clunky is a pretty good word, actually, to describe the possession and the attacking of Spurs. Nick, it's been 2 months since Spurs have put in a good performance. Like, they've gotten a couple of wins. They came back from 2 goals down in the second half to beat newly promoted and maybe going to be relegated Bournemouth a couple of weeks ago. That was awesome. They've really struggled in the Champions League. They did something similar in the Champions League. They got battered by Nottingham Forest in the League Cup, and I know they're not taking that super seriously right now, but there's just a lot of either bad results or okay results that came from very bad performances that I just look at this team and say, it's not changed. Nothing has changed from what I've said about this team at the start of October to now, and maybe even going back further than that, because there were some warning signs early in the season. And the fact that Kane was playing every single minute was a bit of the problem, or a bit of the worry, I guess, because that was the point of having Richarlison come over and join Kulusevski and Son and Kane. But on Kane, this has been happening for years. Pochettino did it. Nuno did it for 10 games. Jose Mourinho did it. Like, every manager the Spurs have had since Harry Kane has been Harry Kane has played him every single game, because when you've got a player of that caliber, that's what you do. And the fact that the schedule's condensed the way that it is this season, I would have liked to seen Conte have a better plan for how he was going to navigate that, because it was very clear that he didn't. And I think the results and the performances have forced his hand just a little bit, because I think he sees it. I think he understands that, well, this team is not firing on all cylinders the way that we did down the stretch of last season when they made that incredible push to finish in the top 4 and get back in the Champions League. It's not the same team right now. I don't think he's giving them the same freedom. I don't think they've got the same belief in the way that they're playing right now. And that's the number one thing. So Leeds is a tough matchup for them. Anybody that presses high and has energy and makes Spurs play quick because they are old and they are slow is going to be a tough matchup. And Leeds will from the first second to the very last second will be all over Spurs. I see this game as very, very even this weekend.
It's very true on Leeds, but the thing that we have to remember, against Bournemouth, they were 3-1 down, but they could have been 5 or 6-1 down. They were that bad defensively at the back, and Jesse Marsch almost was apologetic that they won that game a little bit. He's like, yeah, it was great, but, we've got to improve a lot, and we've got to get a lot better. And if they give those kind of chances to Tottenham, even in their form right now that they gave to Bournemouth, no disrespect to Bournemouth, but you expect Spurs as attackers to make more of that and put them away, right, Nick? So, I'm thinking, prediction-wise, I'm probably going to go for a 3-2 win for Tottenham or something. I can see a lot of goals and a lot of drama and chaos. And I think the fact that it is the last game before the World Cup break, there will be some players, there's a lot of international players on Tottenham's team, but American players on Leeds' teams, maybe just with the World Cup in the back of their mind, maybe, some mistakes or, some last surges before the World Cup to impress. So I'm going to go 3-2 Tottenham, Nick. What's your prediction for this big game in North London?
Yeah, I'm going to go 2-1. And again, just super quick, I think Spurs, Richarlison and Son and Kulusevski being out as long as they have this season has made it look like Conte didn't have a plan. He hasn't had backups.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Andy, prediction?
He had them. And it all looked the same when he did, as well as my 1-1. I think that's what I said in predictions this week. Yeah.
Okay, fair enough. So big game, Tottenham against Leeds United in North London, as lots of international players, Harry Kane, Tyler Adams on either side. They'll be squaring off in Qatar soon, but this weekend they'll be squaring off in North London as Tottenham host Leeds. And on Pro Soccer Talk and NBCSports.com, we'll keep you updated with the preview, how to watch information, analysis. And I'll actually be there for this game. I forgot to mention that at the start, but I will be there in the stands. So it's going to be a good one. When these two teams clash, it always seems to be a lot of goals. So I've jinxed it now, but I'm pretty sure there will be a lot of goals. Hence my 3-2 score prediction.
Hi there, I'm Rebecca Lowe, studio host for NBC's coverage of the Premier League. Don't forget to hit subscribe to watch more videos all season long. For even more Premier League content, from original series to live matches, head over to Peacock and be sure to tune in for Premier League mornings every weekend on USA Network and on Peacock. We will see you over there.